let's get straight into our discussion here at the top of the show with Fox News Latino contributor Lili Gil Valletta, who is here in the studio, as is Democratic strategist Courtney Emerson, and the former Trump senior advisor Michael Caputo also joins us. And Michael, why don't I start with you up there in Buffalo, and then we'll come back here to New York. I know that the campaign is certainly happy with the way things have been going. Not only yesterday, but for the last week or so. The polls we've talked about on the network, the Fox poll, shows the race getting closer. The fundraising numbers, which we'll talk about later in the broadcast, certainly show that Donald Trump had a good day fundraising. So there are a lot of things to like. Now, yesterday we saw, it seemed to me, two different Trumps. Diplomatic by day, and then at night we saw a hardline Donald Trump. Did that speech help in terms of bringing in new voters last night?
Well, I don't think that was the intention of the speech. The intention was to clarify his immigration policy and how he plans to deal with illegal immigration. And make no mistake, that's a very difficult issue for Republicans. Latinos overwhelmingly vote for Democrats, and only 9% or more of Latinos support deporting illegal immigrants. So this is a line that the Trump campaign has to walk very carefully, because as soon as it was rumored that he was going to soften on his deportation ideas, right, the Never Trump crowd started saying that he was always wrong on immigration. So this is a line that they've got to walk very carefully. It's one between the gettable Hispanics and the ones that they can't get after all.
Well, let me ask Lili about that after we hear Donald Trump last night, and he was the hard line or the doubling down, and here's a little bit of what we heard. Donald Trump.
Anyone who has entered the United States illegally is subject to deportation. We will build a great wall along the southern border, and Mexico will pay for the wall. They don't know it yet, but they're going to pay for the wall.
All right, Lili, is that strategy a good one in your view? Because I think Michael is right that the intention last night was not to bring in new voters. It was to shore up the base, and Trump's base has been white men in many of these states that he thinks, Pennsylvania, Ohio, on, that he thinks he needs to win. Right strategy?
It is the wrong strategy, because you need to win Florida, Colorado, Nevada, places like Arizona, a city like Phoenix, which happens to be 40% Hispanic. So he had a great opportunity after meeting with the Hispanic Advisory Council 2 weeks before. And also, if we look at his track record as a businessman, right, he could align himself with the top issue for Hispanics, which is jobs and the economy, and not immigration.
Okay,
so in my mind,
you think last night was a loss? Was it fair to say, Courtney, though, that the trip to Mexico was a win? Even from your perspective, looking at it from the other side yesterday?
I mean, I don't think so. And also, I think even if he was trying to go after increasing the voter base yesterday, he couldn't have after 15 months of very xenophobic, racist comments, especially about Latino voters. This
race is getting closer, though, in fairness. That's what the numbers show.
It is, but in 2008, the race was about a 5-point margin at this point as well, and Obama ended up winning by 10 million votes. So we'll see what happens. But I think that even the trip down to Mexico was not a win for Trump. You see conflicting messages coming from the Mexican president and Trump as to what they discussed and what they agreed to.
Who paid for the wall, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Let me go back to Michael. You heard what the talk is here in New York, Michael. So go ahead, have at it. I mean, the race, as I showed the polls as we were speaking here, does show it within the margin when it's a four-way race. But respond to what you just heard.
Well, I think that, obviously yesterday was a very big win for Trump. The Trump campaign has been hitting on all cylinders for several days now, and it was a signal that the Trump campaign will probably continue to do so in the weeks ahead. It's also a sign that it was a victory day for Donald Trump when you see that the terribly lame spin coming out of the Hillary talking points, where he didn't, discuss who's going to pay for the wall. If that's all they got, they lost yesterday terribly. And it goes to show that even when they do pay for the wall, unless they've written it on a Bank of Mexico check, the people who oppose Donald Trump will say it's not really been paid for by Mexico.
Go ahead, Lili.
It is just, once again, it's narrow-minded when a race is closed, not to go after a new voter bloc that is there for you to grab. And right, Hispanics are not led by immigration, and both parties are hitting it like a political piñata when it's not the key topic that matters for us. Absolutely, he keeps missing out on that.
It should be jobs in the economy.
But he's not doing that, so he's letting the other side also take control of the rhetoric led by immigration when it could be one of economic growth.
You'd rather be
We've got a lot more time on the clock in this race, more than 60 days. You'll be hearing a lot more about jobs in the economy.
The question, I guess, is whether or not Trump can keep any momentum he has going for, and and if there is enough time left, as we've been talking about all week. Michael, thanks. We have to wrap it up now, but Courtney and Lily, thanks to both of you as well.